Before you run that quiz funnel and lose hundreds, even thousands of dollars, make sure you've got these four pieces nailed. Recently, I was coaching a client who came to me with this struggle. She had recently run a quiz funnel and she'd gotten 1,400 people in that funnel. And she was so excited because, like, they're my people. I love this. But here's my dilemma, Christina. My open rate with these people has dropped to 4%. And she's averaging 30 to 40% on her other emails. But this group of people, not so much. Now, I went through a process to help evaluate this, and she happens to be an author who lives in Ireland. She writes young adult fantasy that takes place all over Ireland. And so she was like, yeah, I did a how Irish are you quiz. And I thought, huh. So I started asking her some questions. I said, well, who's your buyer? Who buys your book? She's like, well, everyone. I go, well, no. When you look at your data and you have all of these things showing who your main buyer is, like which one, where are they? What do they look like that buy the majority of your buyers? And she said, well, my buyers, they're American, and they are avid readers, and they're between this age and this age. And I went, okay, I can tell you right now, I know why your quiz funnel didn't work for you. And she's like, why? And I said, because you were drawing out just people who are Irish. How Irish are you? Really simple, right? You're just drawing out people who are interested in their heritage, who are Irish. She goes, but I have Irish readers. And I go, no, but you just told me that the buyers of your books, most of them are American. Doesn't mean they're not American Irish, but most of them are American. So what percentage of those people who are your buyers are actually interested in determining how Irish they are? Took her a bit to get through that. So in other words, she had set up a quiz funnel that was great if you have like an Irish store or an Irish product line or something that really resonates with people who are of Irish heritage. But she's an author, and just because her books take place in Ireland doesn't mean that that's who her ideal buyer is. That doesn't mean that's the majority of her buyers. So that's where she went wrong. So I walked her through the process to evaluate what she did versus what she would have done. Now, I want to make sure that you don't make this same mistake. So we're going to go over the four things that you need to do before you run that quiz funnel. And I'm telling you, you lose hundreds, even thousands of dollars. She lost 100% of the money that she put into it. And the time she put into it, she had to completely restart, revamp. So she lost all of that. So I want to make sure that you're doing it the right way. Here are the four things you need to nail before you run that quiz funnel so that you have a successful list building quiz funnel. One of them is, number one is, know who your ideal person is that you want to attract to the quiz. Now, you are not, whatever product you have, whatever business you have, you might be able to sell to everyone, but you have one set group of ideal buyers. You need to make sure that you know who those people are. In her case, it was Americans who are avid readers of fantasy. That was her ideal person. But her quiz funnel was, how Irish are you? People who are interested in their heritage, people who are interested, they may have nothing related to reading, which most of them didn't. In this case, doesn't mean they didn't read, but they weren't her buyer. They weren't interested in young adult fantasy that took place in Ireland. So you need to know who your ideal person is that you want to attract with a quiz. Another example of this, just to give you an idea, is one of the theater that I help volunteer for. We have two ideal clients. We have our patrons who buy our tickets. That's a very different group than the performers who are on our stage. And so we know where they hang out, what social channels they hang out on, what the basic demographics are for both of those people, what the basic interests are for both of those people. You need to know that about your person when you're doing this quiz funnel. Number two, you need to know the struggle that they are having and how it connects to the quiz that you're creating. So in her case, the struggle that person would be having would be finding more authors or books that they like to read in the genre that they like to read. That would be kind of their struggle as an avid reader. And I go through so many books a day. I read a lot. And so oftentimes my biggest struggle is just finding authors that I actually like, finding books that I actually like to read. So she needs to know the struggle that her ideal person is having and how it connects to the quiz that she's creating. That's what you need to do. Number three, Know the solution that you have for them and how the quiz relates to the problem and brings them one step closer to the solution. So, what's the solution that you have that you want to guide them to through your quiz funnel? Yes, you're using this as a list builder. Yes, you're using this to find your people that are going to buy whatever it is that you have to sell. But in order to really make that connection, you need to figure out, like, if you have a solution. So, for her solution was, I have these books that you're going to like, that you're going to love reading, that you're going to enjoy, you're just going to binge on them, etc. So that's the solution, is giving them the entertainment that they need. Their struggle is finding that, finding that person, getting involved in a story, or something like that in that realm. The point is that you need to know the solution that you have for them and how the quiz relates to the problem that they have that brings them that step that much closer to the solution. And number 4, know the next step that they need after they take the quiz. So you think open loop, think problem, solution, and every solution creates another problem. So problem, solution, and from the solution, there's another problem. And from that problem, there's a solution. And from that solution, there's another problem. So you have to think that. You need to know the next step that they're going to take. Why? Bonus. Why do you need to know the next step that they're going to take? Because through this bonus section, I'm going to walk you through how do you connect with them after you've brought them into your list. So they go through the quiz funnel, you nail their problem, you give them the solution through that, and then what's the next problem for them? So when that next problem is, that's when you're going to meet them. That's when you're going to start connecting with them via email, because they're now a member of your list. So when someone opts into your quiz funnel, your next step is to send them emails that they'll open, read, and respond to, but they need to connect to that quiz that you just gave, that problem solution that you just gave. So what's the next step? What's the next micro step? What's the next piece? So what I've done is I've created the perfect email template. So you're going to be emailing them, and I want to make email so much easier for you. If below this video, I actually have a link where you can click and join perfect email template, not join, just perfect email template. Download that template. So the email that you send to them, once they've done the quiz and you send that email is shaped and has the right content in it that they're going to open, read, and respond, because that is what you want. That was part of her struggle. She didn't have the right people on her list. And since they were the wrong people, they weren't opening, reading, and responding. But when she got the right people on her list, she was like, how do I engage them? How do I get them going? So that is what you need this template for. So let's review that really fast. Number 1, know the ideal person that you want to attract with the quiz. You need to nail this. You need to narrow it down and nail it. Number 2, know the struggle that they are having and how it connects to the quiz that you're creating. There needs to be a logical micro step process through this. Number 3, know the solution that you have for them, the ultimate solution, and how the quiz relates to that problem and brings them one step closer to the ultimate solution. And number 4, know the next step they need after they take the quiz, the next micro step. And that's where you think open loop. That's where you think problem, solution. What's the new problem? Solution. What's the new problem? Solution. You need to know that progression. And that progression is much more micro than you might think. So that's how you do this. These are the 4 steps. Let me know in the comments below if this helped you. If it didn't, what's your number 1 takeaway? I'm always looking for the takeaway. There you go. Have a great day.